Every 5th and 20th of the month, 16 times throughout the year, the Bloomington Federation of Teachers members have $58.86 taken out of their paycheck to pay their dues to cover membership fees and benefits. By the end of the year, this will total $941.76. If you ask me, this is money well spent. For that amount, the benefits that one can obtain are growing professionally through access to a wide variety of conferences, access to a multitude of resources that will save you money on home, auto, and life insurance, as well as other companies that you shop at every day, healthcare and Medicare plans for retirement, and legal advice and assistance on all job-related matters. Legal protection if threatened with suspension or dismissal and offer exclusively for members. Having a bargaining alley, a team of people that fight for your rights, your financial stability, and your job protection for the betterment of all, including what is best for students. And above all, enforce the terms and conditions of the collective bargaining agreement. However, right now, there is a political push to encourage the U.S. Supreme Court to vote in favor of abolishing the requirement for those in union jobs to pay agency fees. For leaders in any situation, it is important to understand the past in an effort to understand the present. Mike Antonucci explains in the winter 2016 article, Teachers Union at Risk of Losing Agency Fees, how the last 50 years are shaping the decisions today. In 1977, in the case of Abood versus Detroit Board of Education, it was determined that no one can be forced to join a public sector union as a condition of employment, mainly due to the fact that unions spend their dollars on political speech and activities. Abood and others believe that one should not have to financially support something they don't believe in. They argue that this goes against their First Amendment rights of freedom of speech. Currently, there are 21 states in which unions are allowed to charge non-members a fee, equivalent to dues to cover the cost of bargaining contracts, processing grievances, and other administrative activities. In education, we call these members fair share, also termed as agency fees. But if Rebecca Friedrichs has her way, there will be far less. In the most recent union-busting freedom of speech case known as Friedrichs versus the California Teachers Association case, Rebecca Friedrichs, 9 other teachers, and the Christian Education Association filed suit challenging the California Teachers Association. They argue that not only should they not have to pay agency fees, they should not have to pay any fees, but still allowed to be part of the collective bargaining unit. The case ultimately hinges on 2 semi-related arguments. The first is the plaintiff's argument that when it comes to public employee unions, all activity is inherently political. Through collective bargaining, they lobby public officials to allocate resources for one purpose, students and teachers rather than others. They argue that they may not agree with this political advocacy and should not have to support it. Another argument they believe is that unions protect those teachers at the top and make it difficult to terminate teachers who are not effective. Younger teachers are laid off even if they are more effective. At this point, the Friedrichs case is tied by an equally divided Supreme Court. There is a petition for rehearing pending. There are in excess of 35 cases challenging union rights waiting in the wings to take flight. You might be thinking, so what? This is something that most people believe. Most people believe they should have their own choice in deciding how to spend their money politically. Most people believe that ineffective employees should be terminated, especially when it comes to the development of the minds of our young people. One word, Wisconsin. In 2011, the Wisconsin Act 10, known as the Wisconsin Budget Repair Bill. Wisconsin 10 Act eliminated agency fees and changed the collective bargaining process. Since it has passed, membership in Wisconsin Education Association Council and the American Federation of Teachers Wisconsin has fallen by more than 50%. In states that have agency fees, NEA membership grew in 2014 by over 5,000. In states without, it fell by more than 47,000. If cases like Friedrichs continue to come forth, someday one might stick. This will completely alter and devastate public sector units. As a leader, this has the potential to tear your teacher morale in half. pitting teachers against one another and crumbling the climate of your building. We have all heard there's no such thing as a free lunch. Fair share fees are like splitting the check at a dinner with friends. If everyone eats, everyone should chip in, even if one person didn't agree on the choice of a restaurant. When the union loses its membership, it loses its financial support and it loses in other ways too. Unions will lose bargaining power within their district with no one to support it. This means class sizes, support services, and prep time, and of course, salaries will take a hit. They will also lose political clout. Education Minnesota reports that corporate interests not only want to reduce pay and benefits for working people, they are helping to advance cases like Friedrichs so they can have more political process. Weakening the voice of unions and working families makes it easier for a handful of billionaires to elect candidates and write laws to their own benefit. Essentially, it could take away the voice of public employees nationwide. Those in right-to-work states, often referred to as free ride states, on average earn $6,000 less than those that require agency fees. 11 of the 15 states with the highest poverty and uninsured rates are right-to-work states. Right-to-work states spend almost $2,700 less per pupil than worker-friendly states. This results in right-to-work states having lower graduation rates, lower ACT and SAT scores, and yes, lower teacher salaries. The problem isn't unions. The problem is the lack of involvement by the membership to be in the know of exactly what their union is doing, to be involved and have a voice so that they are able to change the opinions of others. Too many times people say, well, I'm a union member, but I don't really believe what they do, so I don't get involved. And that is exactly why you should. Unions need people that challenge one another because the group is representing so many. Instead of shying away, one should run to join. Unions have a negative persona that if you are a young teacher, especially a probationary teacher, you should not get involved until you are under continuing contract. As a leader, I would encourage young teachers to get involved early. This is where you can learn to be an effective leader. A good leader will want to be challenged, to see the other perspective, to listen to other ideas. It is important to stand up for what is right, even if it is not popular. In regard to the idea that unions protect bad teachers, this is a systematic approach that needs to be turned on its head. Leaders need to be willing to do the hard work, challenge their teachers' best practices, put in place professional development, and have plans in place for those that are not showing growth. They need to have courageous conversations and not worry about being Minnesota nice. When the evidence is there, the data proves it, and the tough conversations are followed through, the decisions are much easier to uphold. Unions are not the enemy. It is those that do not understand exactly what $941.76 is doing for them each year. As an administrator, encourage teachers to get involved, use their voice, and join their union. You will find that your teachers will develop into strong leaders, people that are able to get buy-in, respect, and support from others behind many other issues. Finally, when your teachers' unions need you, as a leader, support them. In the Friedrichs case, Rebecca Friedrich doesn't want to pay her half of the bill, tax, or tip, but she still wants to take home the to-go box.